Stankie.
What's up everybody, another beautiful day in Azeroth, and today I wanted to talk a bit about the lack of updates for Enhancement in the War Within, and what is the bare minimum they need to fix in order for Enhancement to properly function with the new hero talents we have. And I want to start out by saying that these issues are not about, does Enhancement do good damage? More damage is always welcome, no arguments there, but the bigger issue now is that we cannot properly make builds due to talent point restriction in the enhancement tree. This was a bit of an issue in Dragonflight. Y'all might remember that we never took Windfury Totem in M+, like ever, because other points were more valuable than giving an entire party Windfury. Now they did make Windfury baseline, turn it into Sky Fury, made it stronger, raid-wide and available to all shamans, which should have been awesome, but then they went ahead and put Flurry in its place and broke the pathing to elemental weapons. So we're forced to take Crash Lightning even for single target builds in order to get elemental weapons, for example. But also in your standard run-of-the-mill elementalist build, you simply cannot take Flurry because there's not enough points. So currently we just straight up lost that talent, or at least without having to sacrifice something of more value. So, you know, the same situation as with Windfury, but worse. So let's get down to what Blizzard can do to fix this, which will actually require almost no changes at all, something they seem to be fans of. And a lot of these suggestions here are based on Wordup's recent feedback post on the official forum, which almost always are amazingly on point. So in order to properly make builds, you really just need to reduce the amount of 2-pointers in the enhancement tree by simply making Molten Assault an improved Maelstrom weapon 1-pointers instead of 2. This would allow us to much more comfortably make builds for both Storm and Elementalist. It will allow us to make proper builds using the current totemic hero talents. Next out, they either need to relocate Flurry or simply add a path down to elemental weapons so Crash Lightning goes back to being a choice. Doing so will allow us to have our good old Elementalist AoE build with Sundering for totemic and a spare point with Stormbringer that you can use to further improve Stormstrike talents, for example. And Elementalist single target builds will be able to keep its old build from Dragonflight as well, but also use the 2 spare points for things like Forceful / Unruly Wind, which is great for both Stormbringer and totemic builds. So totemic especially, since it currently further improves Windfury weapon and our new talent in the class tree that also increases weapon imbues. Or you could build more into Stormstrike to synergize more with the totemic talent, Totemic Rebound. And then for Storm builds on AoE, we'd be able to actually play Fire Nova with this. Previously, this hasn't been viable due to it requiring a lot of points just to reach Fire Nova, and doing so sacrificed far too much single target damage. So we've never really been able to play it, and Fire Nova overall synergizes well with Storm builds, since you can build around more physical damage increases, and Fire Nova scales with both physical and fire damage. It's just crap on single targets. Now for Storm single target, this would be a lot less impactful overall. Storm can kinda comfortably fit their most valuable talents, but this would enable them to add in Crash Lightning, for example, for fights that might have ad spawning or 2-target / council fights for extra Maelstrom generation, like Kurog in Vault of the Incarnates. So hopefully this makes sense as to what the biggest concerns are and how easy it is to fix them. Again, there is a smorgasbord of changes and updates I would love for Enhancement, and that I think would make them play even better and be more competitive in high-end rating and Mythic Plus. But while I would love such changes, they are not in need of immediate attention. Our talent tree restrictions are. But yeah, most Enhancement players crying is not to get Omega Pepega buffed and overpowered. We just want to function. I used to pray for a rework in the early days of Alpha, but we're closing in on release released, so at the very least, this needs to change. But hey, if devs are listening and feeling risky, rework Doom wins. It doesn't work for current enhancement, and Storm playstyle does not synergize with it anymore. Rework Ascendance, make it stronger, make deeply rooted elements proc from spending rather than Storm Strike. Ascendance talent needs to not be 3 minutes, and I'd personally love it on a 1 minute cooldown with 2 charges and a lower duration. And did somebody say uncapped AoE? Just to name a few, and remember to voice your feedback on the forums, but do so in a constructive manner. Yelling "Enhancement dead" in all caps does paint a pretty picture, but it's probably not gonna help. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions at all, hit me up in the comments. You can also become a patron or Twitch sub and get access to the Stankie Discord. You can also get shoutouts in videos, things like that. Don't forget the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, slap that notification bell, and yeah, thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.